Alright, buckle up folks, cause we're diving into the wild world of Veronica Vanderhall. This 14-year-old high schooler is like a tornado of rebellion and sass, with an I don't give a frick attitude that could rival a grumpy cat. Teachers try to wrangle her, parents try to reason with her, but Veronica, she's off in her own world, not giving 2 cents about what anyone says. Arguments with friends? Check. Grades lower than a limbo stick at a snake charmer convention? Double check. This girl's got it all. But hold up. Rewind a year, and Veronica was like a totally different person. She was all sunshine and rainbows, top of her class and spreading good vibes like confetti. Then bam, summer hits, she meets some new pals, and suddenly she's all about saving the planet. Cue the aggressive vegan phase and the protests against anything made of plastic or animal products. Now, you'd think folks would just roll their eyes and move on, but Veronica's like a bulldozer with a mission. She's dead set on converting the whole dang school to her way of thinking, whether they like it or not. So, what happens? Principal's office, baby. Veronica gets summoned for a good old lecture about her tanking grades and rotten attitude. But does she listen? Nope, not a chance. She's too busy acting like she's got Einstein levels of smarts. But then reality slaps her across the face when she gets suspended. Finally, it hits her. She's in deep trouble. Cue the apologies, but it's too late. Principal's made up her mind, and it's hasta la vista, baby. Back at home, it's lecture time round 2, courtesy of mom and dad. They're laying down the law, wondering what happened to their sweet girl who used to snuggle up with them at night. Now she's like a shadow of her former self. Then out comes the big guns, a pamphlet for Miss Genevieve's School for Difficult Girls. Sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, with its gothic castle vibes and all the girls sporting the same eerie haircut. Creepy much? But off they go, hauling Veronica to this place. And who's waiting for them? Miss Genevieve herself, looking like she stepped out of a spooky storybook. But hey, she's got a rep for straightening out rebellious teens, boasting about fixing more girls than a broken toaster. And just when you think it couldn't get any weirder, Veronica's mom pops the question we've all been wondering. Why do all these girls have the same haircut? Talk about a mystery worthy of its own Netflix series. So, Miss Genevieve, with her stare that could turn milk sour, starts preaching about how their creepy haircuts symbolize simplicity, obedience, and honesty. According to her, these girls are like sponges soaked in bad habits, and all she's got to do is give them a good squeeze. Talk about a weird analogy, am I right? Then enters Heather Corbett, Veronica's new roomie, all sweet and polite, but don't be fooled. She's like a snake in the grass. Before you can say gum stuck on a pole, she rats out Veronica for breaking the gum-chewing rule. Miss Genevieve's on it like white on rice, pointing out the no-gum policy, but does Veronica care? Nope. She sticks that gum on the nearest pole like it's a piece of modern art. After Veronica's folks skedaddle, Heather leads her to their dungeon-like room, complete with 2 beds, a table, and an alarm clock straight out of the 80s. Heather offers to help unpack, but Veronica's not having it. She gives Heather a piece of her mind for snitching earlier, but Heather's all like, rules are rules, girl. Veronica tries to chill with some tunes, but Heather's like the music police, shutting down her jam session faster than you can say Spotify. And just when Veronica thinks she's caught a break, Heather drops the bomb that some dude named Mr. Welch is gonna give her a makeover. Talk about a bad hair day. Next morning rolls around and Veronica's rudely awakened by the alarm and Heather's chipper attitude. She groggily throws on her uniform and heads to breakfast, expecting some morning banter and giggles. But nah, these girls are as lively as a bag of rocks, chomping on sausage and bacon like it's the breakfast of champions. Veronica tries to score some grub, but it's all meaty goodness, meaning her vegan days are officially over. Talk about a breakfast buzzkill. Cut to history class, where Mr. David's spouting off about obedience and punishment like it's his job. Oh wait, it is. Veronica ain't buying it though, interrupting with some truth bombs about kids being kids and not robots. The class is shooketh, but Mr. David's all smooth, promising Veronica will toe the line soon enough, but not before reminding her about that looming haircut appointment. So, picture this. Veronica's just minding her own business on the playground when Miss Genevieve hits her up to swing by her office. But surprise, surprise, there's Mr. Welch, the barber, waiting for her. Dude starts measuring her head like he's planning a hat fitting or something, even asks her age, which is straight up weird for a haircut appointment. After some back and forth, Mr. Welch finally agrees to squeeze her in for a haircut next week. But when Miss Genevieve gets all pushy, he caves and books her for the next day. Veronica's starting to smell something fishy at this point. I mean, who measures heads for a trim? So, what's a girl to do? Veronica decides to pull a midnight escape, but just when she's about to bust out, along comes Claire, the school escape artist, spilling the beans about the electric fences and guard patrols. Talk about a buzzkill. Turns out, this place is like Fort Knox with a dress code. So, Claire and Veronica team up, and Claire spills the beans on some former escape attempts. They even had blueprints and everything, but no dice. Those guards are like ninjas in khaki. Then Claire drops the bomb. The haircuts turn kids into mindless drones. Cue the dramatic reveal as they sneak into a secret tunnel and stumble upon Miss Genevieve's little science experiment. There's poor old tied-up student begging for mercy, while Miss G's just chilling like it's tea time. She orders Mr. Welch to work his magic, and bam. Next thing you know, the kid's gone from rebel without a cause to straight-up choir girl. Veronica's mind is blown, but Claire's got some wisdom to drop. Turns out she's got a metal plate in her noggin that saved her from becoming a Stepford student last year. Talk about dodging a bullet. As they bond over their shared trauma, Claire spills the real reason she's sticking around. Her sister's still in the clutches of Miss G. It's like a twisted sisterhood of the brainwashed. So Veronica's got this big brainwave to break the spell Miss Genevieve's got over the students. She's all, "I got a plan, y'all," and heads to the canteen the next morning, ready to stir up some rebellion. But her attempt at starting a whistle revolution gets shut down faster than a lemonade stand in a snowstorm, by none other than Miss G herself. During their little chat, Veronica spills the beans about her and Claire witnessing that creepy haircut session. Miss Genevieve ain't thrilled, let me tell you. She promises to give Veronica a makeover of her own later that day. Fast forward a few hours, and Veronica's shaking in her boots as she bolts to Claire's room for some moral support. But Claire's gone full Stepford student, thanks to Miss G's meddling. Looks like Veronica's flying solo on this escape plan now. Back in her room, Veronica's feeling all sorry for herself, reminiscing about the good old days when life was simpler than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Heather, her roommate, tries to cheer her up, but Veronica's in full-on existential crisis mode. But then, Veronica gets an idea. She hands Heather her trusty MP3 speaker, hoping to jog her memory and snap her out of the brainwashed haze. And guess what? It works. Heather's back in the land of the living, and she doesn't even remember how she ended up in this loony bin. With her partner in crime back in action, Veronica wastes no time in putting their plan into motion. She marches right up to Miss Genevieve's office, ready to fake her way through a haircut. But as they make their way to the barbershop, Veronica flips the script and starts roasting Miss G like a Thanksgiving turkey. Meanwhile, Heather's pulling off the real magic back in Miss G's office. She hooks up the MP3 speaker to the school's announcement system and blasts that pop song like it's the 4th of July. Suddenly, the whole school's rocking out, and Miss Genevieve's spell starts to crumble like a stale cookie. Out on the playground, it's chaos in the best way possible. Girls are laughing, screaming, and acting like, well, teenagers. Miss Genevieve tries to rein them in, but they're having none of it. The spell's broken, and ain't nobody putting these girls back in their cages. And just like that, the credits roll as Veronica, Heather, Claire, and the rest of the gang make a break for freedom, leaving Miss Genevieve in their dust. Talk about a happy ending.